Alright, hello. Just finishing getting set up here real quick. Should be good to go. So, hi. It's been a little bit. Things always seem to come up for me. That's okay, we're back for now with some more exciting stuff. And I've got to fix the volume levels. There we go. Okay, so I have some new modules, which is exciting. I'm not going to go into super detail because I have literally got them like hours ago, but I'm going to jam around with them a bit. So there is the Zadar and its expander, which I've been looking forward to getting for a very long time, and Mimeophon, which I've also been looking forward to getting for a very long time. I have another exciting module hopefully arriving next week, but I'll leave that to be seen. You may be surprised. Hey Vorstein, good to see you. I'm getting used to a new setup for watching chat too, where it's harder to read, so anyway, just say lots of things if I miss anything that you're saying. So, I thought I'd do this with this patch that I sort of started doing at the last time we had one of these little hangouts, but I sort of expanded on it. So let me let that go here. This is sort of a patch I had going. Right now I'm kind of playing the bass manually from Tetrapad. Don't need this anymore. I still have a lot of stray cables as well. But this was sort of built off of this sound, which we actually developed last time, which let's remind ourselves exactly how this works. This is multiple different, this is Odessa. 3 different voices going into Odessa, getting split out on the even and odd partials into a VCA that's being triggered. The VCA is being triggered down here by stages, just a little simple envelope. We might try changing that to Zadar, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, Odessa doesn't have any modulation on it whatsoever. It's on 3-voice mode. Then we come into QPass, which is being modulated a little bit by LFO from stages. That goes into Rainmaker and a simple ping pong delay. That goes over into Typhoon, which is running just granular clouds, and that all goes out. So that's that sound. And then you can hear a bit from this. So this was a new one that I set up. And let's just trace this back because I don't 100% remember how this was working either. Right, so this is actually the chord. You can probably see this long purple cable over here. This guy is what's connected to Tetrapad. This makes I can do a doubling effect where I match the bass with the sounds that are coming into chord, because chord is in the unison poly mode, which means that everything's tuned together via the frequency knobs, but I can have volt per octave input for different voices. So I've actually got volt per octave going into the root, the third, and the fifth voices here. And then the mix is coming out. It's going into a really easy filter on Squawk Dirty to me, which is going out through a VCA. That VCA is triggered from this is actually an envelope and VCA, sorry, and then that all comes out to be output. But We're also sending, this is where it's coming in. We're also sending that on the aux send out to my microburst, which I brought back in just to have some reverb on this because I wanted that. But we're gonna swap that out with Mimeophon and see how that sounds, I think. Yeah, and then the bass is actually really, really, really simple. It's just I've just multed the volt per octave that was going into chord. That goes into plats, which is in, I think, FM mode, I think? Yeah, and out, that's it. So you get this interesting doubling effect that I like. Hopefully you hear that. By the way, let me know how the audio quality ends up on this. I realized that I've actually been running my audio interface in like 44.1 kilohertz this whole time, and so I think I managed to bump it up to 9600, so hopefully it should sound a lot better. We'll see. Alright, so that's what this whole patch is. So, let's concentrate first on changing how we're doing this so it's not U-bursts. So I literally threw this in here because I didn't want to do the pedal for reverb right now, so it's not even screwed in. So we're gonna just unplug all the pieces, get rid of U-burst out of here for the moment. And now we need to decide, should we use Mimeophon as let's not use it as a sand effect just yet. I want something more drastic. Thanks, I appreciate it. Okay, so in that case, we're gonna need to look at the top here and we'll take this out. This was the output that was going direct. We're gonna come out of Mimeophon. Let's just keep it simple and stay in mono for now, and I might mess around with stereo later. And then we can just do a short cable from here. Okay. So the mix is at 0 right now, so it should be doing absolutely nothing for us. Let's turn this up a little bit. Make sure we turn off any of the sends. Okay, so I know very little about Mimeophon, other than that I know it does delays and smearing and reversing and stuff like that. I've had a very brief glance at the manual, so let's just see what we can do with this without touching anything. So we need some mix first, obviously. Let's turn up the number of repeats. Oh yeah, there's this zone controls. Right. Can make these weird like car plus strong like effects, I think. So. That was already neat. Okay. And then Halo is the one that's supposed to be really neat. Yeah, so as far as I understand from my brief glance in the manual, the zones are like different subsections of amount of like buffer captured to be repeated. So like the higher zones are capturing like multiple seconds of audio and the lower zones are capturing like microseconds. Okay, I think this deserves to be in stereo. Unplug some old cables I had down here. And let's do this in stereo. Feels like it's a waste otherwise. Okay, so we'll go... Oops, sorry if I deafen you. So yeah, Halo sure does smear the hell out of the sound, which is great. That's sort of what I wanted. Why am I getting... It's like there's almost a feedback going on. I wonder. Woo! All right. Modulating rate is probably not going to be the best thing. Interesting sounds. Now, as far as I remember too, I've got to look up what these buttons do again. There's something about ping pong and swap as well. You hold down the skew button, it does something, so... I think that is ping-ponging. So that's nice. Yeah, I found the time knob exactly, right? And then there's something about those other buttons too. One of them flips the zone so it's backwards. Which I think is going to result in like a reverse delay, which is nice. Does it do anything holding flip? And one of these I know is a clock out. I think this is the tempo in, and this is the clock out for the repeats or something like that. Then there's this micro something that has to do with rate. I don't know exactly what. And of course hold is like, I mean, similar to freeze for clouds, I think, so. What happens if you like, because there's a special icon on the side of Halo for like maxing it out. Turn off the ping pong for a sec. Maybe? Skew button on its own does something too. Let's see. Let's see, it skews. Oh, where is it? Let's try another zone here. Let's try a shorter zone. Color is very subtle. can hear an infinite feedback loop coming. The rate knob is interesting. It doesn't exactly have the effect I would have thought. Move smoothly between repeat sizes in the selected zone. Oh, with repeats turned up beyond 0, changes in rate will cause Doppler modulation in our effects. That's interesting. The lens flare of reverb. Okay, well, we already got something pretty interesting going here. I want to understand color a little more again. Timbral character. It just talks about a bunch of different types of delays that I don't know anything about, so. That's some interesting effect on the short zones, that's for sure. Seems like modulating repeats could be cool. So let's since I was also going to try that, let's use Zadar to do something. So Zadar is an envelope generator and very actually relatively simple to get, but makes very complex envelopes. So just see how much of the screen you can see, but it has 4 different channels, and then you can choose the waveform essentially, or I think you can make your own, or well, you can sort of modify the existing ones, I think. So let's pick a weird shape. That's sufficiently weird. And then you can like warp it in different directions and change the response levels and like change how long it takes and change the overall output level and things like that. So for now we'll just let's just do an average everyday envelope and see where this takes us. So we'll put that into repeats on Mimeophon. And then with the expander, you can trigger it. So you might be able to see a line go through the screen as it plays this out. I think it's on a 1 second timing, so let's see what that sounds like. No, it doesn't have a, okay. This could be a little intense, we'll see. It's not long enough to. All right, let's make it take longer. You can make envelopes on Zadar that are like 30 seconds long, which is insane. I don't know if 30 seconds might even be less than that, but let's see. Sort of interesting. Let's try a different parameter. Let's try that micro input. I don't know what it does, so what does this do? Let's see. Not too much. I obviously got to learn a little more about this. I'm going to turn off this skew for the moment. Zone should be very obvious. Let's put it into zone with a bit of a positive attenuation, so it'll go into longer zones. Let's just see what that sounds like. I feel like I want this at 100% mix. Oh yeah, that's better. Easier to hear what's going on now too. Let's see. Maybe a bit too smeared. So I'm gonna turn halo down a bit. Try that repeats thing again. It makes things just build a little too much, I think. What else could we try? Modulating color. That gets things moving. Okay. So that gets things moving nicely. So let's make this into an LFO, because that's another cool thing you could do with Zadar is repeat the envelopes, or even chain the envelopes together, but go into this menu here by hitting the middle red button. Hi Analog Kid, sorry. I've got all my stuff all my chat stuff on the other side of me now, so it's hard to see. Ah, you installed your 100-foot Ethernet cable and it works. That's awesome. I need to catch one of your streams then for sure. Okay, so let's try to make this repeat. So you have to go into this chain page. And then each one of these knobs corresponds to a given channel. So there's A, B, C, and D channels. And then you can, something about this phase and repeat. I don't know, there we go. Okay, you have to scroll until you get to infinite repeat, and now it's an LFO. Which I believe has already started. Let's see. Yep. So now it's just a constantly cycling, interesting LFO. So that's great. All right, how else can we mess with this? Let's go to another channel and pick another shape. Let's modify the shape a little bit this time. Oh, there are some weird ones in here. What was that? Where was it? Yeah, this, where were you? This bizarre thing. It's like a comb. Okay. So we can warp it into something weird, but I kind of liked it as that comb actually. Okay. Let's put that somewhere. That's channel B, so I don't know, into halo. This could be very weird. Oh, I'm gonna definitely have to make it much, much longer. That is interesting. Let me warp it a bit more. I want more of this first stuff that's in here. Sort of giving it an interesting kind of warble almost. What about in reverse? You can press this knob to put it in reverse. Okay, that was interesting. For sake of trying it, let's try this whole chaining of patterns thing that you can do. So you go into the menu and you have to go into chain. I think it's this, yeah. And then we're gonna say that we want to chain B to C, which I think should make it play B and then C. So let's just see. So that's channel B. Oops, and that's a very simple channel C. So if we play B, does it show channel C playing? It's probably hard to say because channel C is very short. Let's try this again. So we're gonna hit B. Oh. Oh, it's chained per trigger. I see. Okay. This is literally my first time touching an analog kit. I've like barely even read the manual, so I'm figuring things out as I go. Yeah, doesn't it? The two frequencies are beating together. Yeah, it's an interesting effect from modulating halo there. Okay, so it's chained per trigger, which is interesting. I wonder if there must be a way of making it chained together in an LFO, I would think. So we've already got B and C set as chains, so maybe we have to set C to that infinite repeat. Let's see. Okay, so channel B, play U. And then you should chain into C in a sec. Oh. No, it's actually playing C. Oh no, because I put it on C on infinite repeat, it's just turned into an LFO on its own. I see. Okay. Let's not do that, because that's not what we want. C can go back to no repeats. I'm guessing it's going to be that phase control. Let's have a look-see here. Oh, there's a chaining mode that loops. Okay, thank you. So that's gonna be like, I see the loop now. Got it. Cool. And then I guess you don't need to set the repeat because it's already chained in a loop, so that's all right. Let's give C a more interesting waveform. I want another weird glitchy one like we just chose, because that was maybe this. Sure, let's see. I might warp it a little bit. No, I want it. What about the time's fine. Whoa, not the shape. I could reverse it. And there's something about response to this is let's bring it down a little bit, see how that goes, and then sure, okay. Sustain, I gotta figure that out. I'll leave that in reverse. So now if I go back to channel B, should be able to see what this sounds like. Maybe. Oh, you're not triggering. Odd. Oh, maybe I do need to set repeats now? Let's see. No, it only goes up to 100 repeats, so. Let's read the chat again. It's BC with the loop underneath. Under the envelope, C after B is done. Oh, so because otherwise they trigger simultaneously. Okay, so it's like an offset. I got it. Okay, so C's phase has got to be 100, which is by doing this, like that. Okay. I see B going. Oh. Uh-oh. Now they're really weird. B is repeating on its own. Oops. B is repeating on its own. So, okay, so there goes C. Is B still going? B is still going, all right. Oh, I think it's because of the timing differences. So one of them is triggering the other one to start. Yeah, if you watch the chain, if you watch this play out on C, watch the playhead, C is longer in time than B. So yeah, that makes sense. Wow, that's much more complicated than I thought. Okay, so now we're chaining these two together, but of course this comes out of two separate inputs. So let's do some fancy stuff. Let's mix these two together in maze. Okay. Here we go. This one's at 99, this one's at 99. Should both be coming out. Okay. Should do it. See what we get. Well, actually, we don't necessarily want them mixed completely together. It could be interesting to have one invert the other, actually. I have to remember how to do that, but... there's some way. How does it work again? Already here. Choose this pad. There was a way. No. Man, you don't touch modules for a while, you forget how to use them. There's a separate document with all the shapes. Wow. Cool. I'll have to look that up for sure. Okay, so let me just grab the manual for maze real quick here. It's not a common module to see around, but maze is very nice. Highly recommended. I did a little video on it earlier, as I recall. Maze's manual, okay. Let's remember how we do this. I already did that, and we're now in the mode where we're changing things. Yeah, we're in edit mode. Don't need to do anything else there. I think I might be wrong and maybe it can't invert this. But actually, now that it's... Let's see. Let's turn everything off first. Make sure that this makes sense. This is the selection mode. Now we're in the... This is where we select the presets. Now we're editing that preset. We're editing this part. It's at 99. Back out. So now we're editing this one. It's also at 96. Technically that should have mixed them, maybe not exactly in the way that I want. Maybe I'll just, to simplify it, let's take C here and we'll just run it through an attenuverter because that's easier than looking up the manual. It's right here. I'll just completely invert it. Send it back into maze. Maybe not quite completely, but just to give it some differences. It's definitely getting more complex. All right, and then we still got one more channel here. So let's find another weird envelope shape and shove it somewhere else. Oh, these T ones must be like impulse responses or something. They look very much like a like the beginnings of synthesizing percussion or something. Some of these almost look like they could be like an... I guess you could make any of these into an oscillator if you did it at audio rate. That'd be cool. Sure, let's take that one and maybe... I don't know, I like more of this side. And... oh, let's make it more significant in response and maybe just... look at what sustain does, but level is fine. Yeah, okay. So let's take output D. Can really mess with things and put it in rate. How about that? Here we go. We need more time, probably. Whoa, not 60 seconds, thanks. Maybe a little bit more to it. Maybe negative rate? Let's see. Let's try zone again instead of rate. We'll go negative zone. Whoa. That makes things nice and glitchy. Weird. What about the micro thing again? Okay, well that was kind of cool. That gave it a lo-fi junkie kind of feel. It again. I guess that's the micro. The micro thing must be just like nudging the rate just a little bit. Huh. Alright, I want to put this back on that ping pong mode again. That spread things pretty nicely. I want to turn up the default state of halo a little bit. And let's trigger this again, but let's... I want it shorter. Let's see what we get. 3.5 seconds, sure. Maybe even shorter than that. 1 second. Oh, that's... And it messes with things, it's too fast. What about really long? Not 255 seconds, but like, I don't know, 13 seconds, sure. What does this sound like? Not quite as good, actually. Maybe 10 seconds? Ish. All right, that was interesting. Right? Yeah, tapey. That's a good way of putting it. Make it shorter again. Gotta find a use for the infinite repeats. The fact that it's there makes me think that it doesn't just exist to blow out your speakers, so. All right, the other thing I wanted to do to change up this sound a little bit was also to, well, actually, in order to do that, I'm gonna have to steal envelope C here, so. We're gonna take envelope B and just plug it back into where this whole mess was going, which was Halo. We're gonna steal these. Because another thing I got was, I don't know if you can see it, right in here, Intellijel makes this passive LPG now, which I'm interested in seeing what that sounds like with this sound. Rather than a typical VCA. So what we want is for first to turn off the chaining. All the chaining off. And for channel C, we need to pick a relatively normal envelope-y envelope. So let's see what we can find. Oh man. These endless encoders are one of those ones that speed up if you go too fast, be aware. So I think it was in T, HJK element and PQRS T. Yeah, this is where I found sort of, let's not reverse this. I don't know, sure, something like that. Let's see how that works. So this envelope can go into the CV for this passive LPG. And then we'll go up to the top here and we'll take the audio, which is gonna have to be this guy. I can drop down into our low pass gate. And that was going out to Mimeophon, so we'll just hook that into the low pass gate. And then we need the trigger, which was coming right here, to go into our trigger C. So let's see, what's the time on this? We don't really want 14 seconds. There's a quick one, so. Definitely have an LPG kind of response. Let's make this a little longer and we'll warp it around a bit. This is going to be great for making envelopes. It's so much easier to understand what's going on when you're looking at it visually. let's also, just because it can make things interesting, and I've got a short little cable here, let's mult out one of our other envelopes here. So like the one that we've got on infinite loop, which is output A. If we mult this and send it into the assigned, so this is like a CV in for channel C. Then we have to go in here and assign it to something. So for channel C, let's make it warp, yeah, sure. And then you sort of have an attenuator here, so warp the other way. Warp's funny because it changes, of course, when it, so, what response? Levels and the shape gets interesting because if you watch here, look at it changing the shape of everything at like rapid fire pace. All right, not going to use that. It's kind of neat with response, I thought. It almost looks like it's breathing. Look at it. Needs to be not quite as much, I think. Or maybe it needs to be more. Instead of taking that loop, let's take B because it was more interesting. Oh, I haven't even, right, B is not on repeat anymore. I need to fix that. So B's repeats to infinity. There we go. Yeah, look at it now. Warp, warp. It's an amazingly fast refresh rate on the screen for Zadar. It's very smooth. Yeah, definitely not your traditional envelope generator, but that's really cool about it. What I intend on using this for is for some like really long running modulation primarily. Really long running modulation and modulation that I can trigger with those buttons from the expander. Now the cool thing is that I can also, because I have the expander, I can affect a second thing. So let's do that too. We can just hop over from assign 1C to assign 2C. And then we can set that up. So let's have it warp a little bit. Man, look at it go. All right, let's have it warp a little bit more. Whoa. Crazy. All right. Warp's probably not great for an envelope like that's triggering a sound because it's going to change the timing of it. So we already did response. Level could get interesting. Not visualized in the same way, but How about, I forgot what rep is. Repeats, I think, actually. Oops. Oop, I keep pressing the wrong button. Rev is like it triggers it to reverse if the signal's above a certain level. Which you can obviously see it is a lot. Except for sometimes then it's flopping. Man, try to make this envelope on anything else other than this. Good luck. I don't know what... Freeze must stop the position of the... Oh, it halts the envelope. That's cool. Alright, well. Modulating shape is crazy. Okay, let's modulate time. It still moves things around too much. What could we... I guess level is a good one for this. That's pretty good. Let's those are vectors, so changing length via CV doesn't create glitches, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's put Mimeophon back into this and I definitely like the response of the LPG better than I did the VCA version of this. And it's cool that Intellijel made a passive LPG. Like, it takes no power. Still has a light on it. I guess it's powered off the voltage that's coming in, but... Alright, this is cool. Let's see what this sounds like in context with everything else that I was doing. Maybe a little busy now, but... volumes a little bit here. Now, what's that thing that was making that crazy radio sound again? That was D, right? Which I still need to trigger every so often to make this more interesting. Let's see. What do I want to use as a trigger? Something different. It's interesting, gets more subtle. Okay, so... let's just take... I've already got some stuff running off marbles, so let's just be simple and take a marbles trigger. Let's get a shorter cable to do that with. Probably need to bias it a little bit so that it doesn't go as often. Oh, sorry, you're not even looking at what I'm doing with... Oh, no, you are. You were looking at what I'm doing with marbles. Something's a little out of tune there. Interesting. Yeah. A little bit. I think it needs some... What it maybe actually needs is this. Oh, wait, this way. This way. Do some crossfading. That'll make things interesting. Need a couple cables. Come out. These guys. Okay, so now we just need to CV the crossfading, which we could do by melting something of Zadar's. Let's see, which one do we want? Maybe A. Let's take A, because it was a little bit more calm than the other ones. Take this. We want XCV. Yeah. Maybe a little too abrupt. So if I was to do this with another Zadar envelope, I think I would want something with much less output overall. Because it's really, the sweet spot is just having a little bit of both of them. But like bringing one more to the foreground and then the other more to the foreground and things like that. So I'd need like a, I can't remember if the CV input on Axis is controlling it overall or whether it's controlling it relative to the knob. If it's relative to the knob, I just need like a long sine with very little amplitude, which I could get out of PAMS too, which I also need a Batumi for at some point. That will happen. I'm gonna melt this into something else of Mimeophon's, because why not? Oh, the rate knob's funny. Repeats is not the answer. I wonder how it will work with one that's triggered. Is it... I'm just thinking about putting it into flip here. So let's see what that does. Does it ever go not high? Probably has to hit 0 to actually do that, so no. answer is no. What about hold? The answer to that is also no. I don't think clock rate would do anything because it's not really a pulse, so that's not gonna... The other thing I can modulate is mix, but I think that's gonna be boring. Just makes things vary a bit, but it sort of breaks it up, which I don't necessarily like. What else is in this whole chain of things? So we got the filter. Well, let's do the filter resonance. That's more fun. Don't think I need to add something. Yeah, there we go, that's where. This is really gonna make them compete, I think, but. I think it works a lot better with this being much in the foreground and this being just something just kind of there in the background as a pad almost. Anyway, it's turned out pretty nice. Would still need a bit more work in terms of separating those sounds, I think, but it's an interesting start. And with that, it is about time for me to go. So I will probably do... Actually, we went relatively in-depth with the Zadar for all that I don't know about it, and relatively with the Mimeophon, but I might do one where I concentrate specifically on all the features of it later on. And then, like I said, next week I'm expecting to get some modules that will be a fun little surprise and something those of you who've watched me for a while might not have expected, but this is something that I've got a demo, well, not a demo, a friend of mine is going to send me so that I can try and see if I like it or not, and then possibly get my own. We'll see. So, yeah, I will be back next week for sure, this time. And you all have yourselves a good rest of your night. Thanks, Forrestine. Thanks, Analog Kit, for hanging out. It's always great to have people to talk to while I'm messing around with this. Yeah. Have a good one. We'll see you later.